you're a man and you sit down and you believe the garbage that society is telling you about how society functions between men and women, you're going to end up getting fucking wrecked. Like these dudes do. They sit there and go, just because she's fucked everyone doesn't mean she'll do it again. You will not find a Russian billionaire doing this dumb shit. You will not find a Chinese billionaire doing this dumb shit. You do not go to Saudi and find a sheikh doing this dumb shit. None of it. You only find it in the West. They don't care about our parents being in parenting homes. They don't care about crime. They don't care about no one being able to pay their energy bills. They don't care about nothing. But they give a shit for some reason about this one thing, and they'll fucking throw the flag all around the world. You've got a bunch of 10 men, 10 women, stranded them on a desert island, and they had to survive. Very quickly, the men would do men shit, and the women would do women shit. There'd be very little talk about feminism and equality, and all this shit would fucking vanish when shit hits the fan, right? But I think the world is going to get a lot harder. I think the world is cyclical. I think it's been easy for a while. I think hard times are coming. And when hard times come, people are going to naturally revert to what gives them the highest chance of survival, which is gender roles, right?
Do you think that hoes can ever be turned into housewives?
Okay, I'll answer that question. And the answer is actually, truthfully, yes. Which I know a lot of people are confused by. They can. If you're a good enough, high enough level man, you absolutely can turn a hoe into a housewife, but why the fuck would you? Because you don't have to. A man like me, I could, but I'm not low on options, so I would never decide to do that. If you're a billionaire, could you can find an old rusty car and rebuild it, or you can just buy a new one, right? So it's not about what could be done, it's about what will be done. So once women hit a certain status of man, I don't think women are stupid. I actually argue the fact that women have a beautiful intuition. I think that women, to a degree, their intuition is truly almost psychic. The number of times I've come home and she's like, "You were cheating." And I was like, how the fuck does she know I'm fucking cheating? Like, you have intuition and it's real. You guys are smart, right? And if they get to a certain echelon of man, they're not going to go anywhere because there's nowhere else to go. They're going to get to a guy eventually. They're going to stop at the buck and go, you know what? Where am I going to surpass this specimen? So I'm just going to behave for him. So you could turn a hoe into a housewife that way. But why would a man at that level want to do that?
Why do some guys at certain, and this is obviously a celebrity example, but I'm sure we can all think of examples in like day-to-day life where a guy with a lot of options does pick a hoe and like wife her, like for example, Kim and Kanye. Because Kanye clearly has options.
She did not want to be a housewife. No, she was a project.
Okay, I understand. I'm just asking because some guys do pick.
Yeah, they do, and it's a really good point. And I have nothing bad to say about Kanye. In fact, I think a lot of the work he's doing now in terms of attacking the Matrix is important. But I can give you a generalized answer. But it's a man who is not true to his masculine imperative, which is going to fall for the propaganda machine, which is being purported upon him, who's going to believe that all the crap that is being told by society, like a female's past doesn't matter and all this shit doesn't matter. This is what's interesting in the fight against the Matrix, because people always say to me, Andrew, why do you come here and say all these things? They're literally trying to destroy your life for what you say. And the truth is, as a man, you have two choices. You either fight against the programming and the brainwashing they're trying to put inside of all of our minds, or you end up fighting against yourself. If you're a man and you sit down and you believe the garbage that society is telling you about how society functions between men and women, you're going to end up getting fucking wrecked, like these dudes do. They sit there and go, just because she's fucked everyone doesn't mean she'll do it again. Just because, and they sit there like dummies and they get fucking wrecked, right? You have to sit there as a man and go, no, I don't give a shit what society's telling me. I understand something baseline about humanity, right? And that's why they make these poor choices. And a lot of men do make these poor choices, but it's only in the West. It's only in the West where this propaganda machine exists. You will not find a Russian billionaire doing this dumb shit. You will not find a Chinese billionaire doing this dumb shit. You do not go to Saudi and find a sheikh doing this dumb shit. None of it. You only find it in the West.
Do you think the values of the West are spreading?
What values?
So
name a value of the West.
Sorry.
Name a value.
Sorry, I might have misspoke.
Ideals.
I mean, like the ideas of the West. Like I've just gotten I get messages from people like from all over, and like in places like India, I've heard feminism is spreading there. Like I've heard that. Do you not find that to be true?
So firstly, the West has no value. The only thing the West seems to defend fervently is LGBT. I'm not saying anything about it. I'm not. I'm just saying it's the only thing that they'll stand up and fight for. I don't know why. It's weird. Like this, they don't care about anything else. They don't care about children going without child support. They don't care about people dying in wars. They don't care about our parents being in parenting homes. They don't care about crime. They don't care about no one being able to pay their energy bills. They don't care about nothing. But they give a shit for some reason about this one thing, and they'll fucking throw the flag all around the world.
Which is again surrounded around sex.
That's all they care about. It's fucking strange. So that's the first thing about the values of the West. Second thing, the harder society and the harder the life is as a whole, the longer it's going to take for feminism to spread. Feminism only exists in a vacuum of an easy life. if you're living in a society like India where life is hard, feminism disappears because the harder life is, the closer people naturally revert to their gender roles. If you got a bunch of 10 men, 10 women, stranded them on a desert island, and they had to survive, very quickly the men would do men shit and the women would do women shit. There'd be very little talk about feminism and equality, and all this shit would fucking vanish when shit hits the fan, right? So in countries where life is harder, feminism can't take hold because feminism can only exist in a vacuum of a very privileged life. I'm sure there's some kid in India who didn't get laid off some chick and he's complaining she's a feminist. There's a bunch of dumb shit, right? But I think the world is going to get a lot harder. I think the world is cyclical. I think it's been easy for a while. I think hard times are coming. And when hard times come, people are going to naturally revert to what gives them the highest chance of survival, which is gender roles, right? I have the best chance of survival being a man, and a woman has the best chance of survival being my woman. That's how she's going to function.
Do you think women typically are happier as housewives rather than a career?
Well,
depends on the career.
No,
depends on the man.
The answer is absolutely and utterly yes, because giving life is the most beautiful thing a female can do. That's what you've evolved to do. That's the thing that men cannot do. I think that women who focus on having children and do their best to be good mothers in the end are the happiest females on the planet.
Being a mother and being a housewife is kind of different, though.
Okay, no, but it's essentially the same thing. If you're a housewife long enough, I'm going to assume you're going to end up having children. And I think that the sooner a woman has children, the better. If she can find a good man and have a child, that's a fantastic thing. I think it's a beautiful thing. And I don't see the point in a woman slaving away for a corporation that doesn't care about her as opposed to slaving away for her own flesh and blood. I think that's a complete waste of a life. I think if men are already doing that, why would you want to go along and do that as well?
Because a career is not just slaving away for a corporation. A career can involve a million different things.
Well, that's exactly what a career is. It's slaving away for a corporation that doesn't care about you. And I understand you have to pay the bills, and I understand you don't want to be completely sufficient. You want to be self-sufficient. You don't want to be dependent on a man. I understand all that. But in an idealistic scenario, in the vacuum of ideology, if you could sit and be a woman and focus on having children or focus on doing a job, I think on a long enough time scale, you're going to be much happier with your progeny as opposed to working a job.
Can I ask you a question? Because I feel like we talk a lot about hoes, we talk about a lot of the extreme. There's a lot of gray matter in the middle.
Sure.
Where a lot of women kind of get lost.
Yep.
For example, I think that one of the issues sometimes that I hear a lot about, and I personally may say I feel it sometimes, is that when you're also a quite educated woman, intellectual, intelligent, whatever, smart, a lot of the time, naturally, you speak in a way that stands out from other people, right? And I find that a lot of the time, that kind of intimidates some of the man them, where they start thinking, this girl is a bit too much. Now, it is not my fault that I'm smart. It's not my fault that I can put one and one together very nicely, very quickly. What kind of man is going to be able to handle that?
Give me a minute.
This woman laughs like I don't speak 4 languages and got 3 degrees. Now I thought.
Wait, is she trying to say you're not smart?
It's okay. I speak how I do for a reason. So please, sir, can you help me out? I'm trying to find a husband, the kind of beast that can handle a woman like me.
Well, this is another point, right? And I'm only answering generally, right? Because this is the first time I've met all of you ladies. You've all been very polite to me. You've all been very nice. I'm just talking generally. And I'm going to answer it based on your last sentence. Your last sentence was handle a woman like me. Let's look at the average man's life, like I just discussed earlier, how difficult it is, how competitive he has to be, and how many problems he has to fix. Do you think he wants to handle any woman?
Okay, so...
like the idea of any degree of problem, it's the straw that breaks the camel's back. Like the point of having a woman as a man, for me at least, is for her to be my peace and quiet. My life is stress. You see me, I'm rolling around with fucking security teams, and I got problems, and they're after me. And when I come home to my chick, the last thing I want to do is have to handle anything. I want her to just sit the fuck down and her make me happy. She used to be my positive energy. She used to be my sunshine in the rainstorm.
Okay.
So you're talking about him handle you. I don't know. I can't answer the question exactly. But if you're sitting there constantly arguing over small points or correcting him, he's probably thinking, this is I don't have the energy for another fight.
Okay, so...